wouldn't do a lot differently. There are a couple things I would do differently. I do think it is unfortunate. I don't know how I even would have avoided this, but I do think it's unfortunate that the reality is that the car rescues did contribute to this sense of hostility between Wall Street and the administration. I don't believe that hostility should occur, but I do get the fact that some of the rhetoric that was used, and I will certainly take the blame for my share of it, and some of these perceptions about how we acted with respect to Rick Wagner or respect to the lenders have fueled this fire between Washington and Wall Street. I don't think they're the biggest part of the fire, but they're a piece, and I feel bad about that.
And this is the idea that President Obama has been very kind to Wall Street and hammered the rest of the economy? Well,
it's the idea, no, it's the idea among my Wall Street friends that, that the president doesn't like them.
And how can they have that idea, given what happened, and given the fact that they still have jobs and equity and their bondholders were made 100% whole? How is it possible that people believe that they've been treated unfairly?
Because of the rhetoric that they hear, and they hear a lot of talk about bonuses, and they hear a lot of talk about fat cat bankers, not in those words, not from the president. But look, in the real world, the country is very, very angry about these bailouts. I may think they're wrong on substantive grounds, you may think they're wrong on substantive grounds, but they are angry. And any president has to take account of that. You can't just blithely wander around without realizing where the mood of the country is. And so Wall Street senses all of that. My problem with Wall Street is that they don't get the fact that they were part of the problem, not all of them, but some 1% who went too far and there were too much excesses. And I think the mistake Wall Street makes is really more trying to push back on some of that stuff rather than saying, okay, you're right, it went too far, it's a new world, we're going to do things differently and so on. Whether they believe it or not, just as a matter of, it's why most people on Wall Street probably shouldn't be in politics.
And do you think President Obama has been unfair to Wall Street? Do you think the rhetoric has been unfair?
I think some of the rhetoric is not ideal, but I'm living in the real world, and the real world is that the president has to govern. And he has to, and I believe is governing from the center. And part of that is appreciating the mood of the country, which, as I said, the president made a famous statement to the banks in March of '09, famous, but one that I noted anyway, where he met with a bunch of bankers. They were all complaining to him about the rhetoric and everything we were just talking about. And he said, look, guys, you don't get it. I'm the only thing standing between you and the pitchforks. And I think that's true. I think whatever they don't like about what the president's saying, as you observed, compared to what he has done for them and defended them to the country, which would like to lynch everybody on Wall Street, I think they just need to appreciate that.